Hey everyone, Lord Tremendous here, and I'm finally catching up on my battle reports. This was a good one though. This was against Lonehammer, or Demonic Orchid, or the other YouTube battle reporter. I've ran into him before. He's a great guy. He whooped my ass with Demons of Chaos at the time. He had his Slanesh demons with a little bit of corn thrown in there for flavor. But now he's playing a new army, a better army, well, depending on who you ask, of orcs and goblins. But yes, this is a 2,500 point battle. It's a little Carnival of Chaos prep. Battle report number 212. It's me, Lord Tremendous of the Undead Legion, versus Lonehammer, or Demonic Orchid, depending how you know him, of the orcs and goblins. And this is a fun game. It's rare that I get to fight the green skin, so I was very excited about it. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this one goes.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, and there's a slight change in kits on this one. My Vampire Lord, Lord Tremendous, is still a level 4 wizard. He has heavy armor. I gave him a shield now because he used to have a magical one. He's on an Abyssal Terror. He's got the Sword of Might, the Dragon Helm, the Talisman of Preservation, the other Trickster Shard, Quick Blood, Red Fury, and Lure Vampires. And I gave him the Dragon Helm because I was talking with Death, Holy Death, and a handful of other guys after my last game, and we were like, you know what? It would be a really good idea to have some sort of flaming defense, because you're going to run into a lower metal guy at the Carnival of Chaos or something that's flaming, like, oh, I don't know, what was it, the Skull Cannons of Corn, and just get obliterated top of one, and that's going to suck. So the Dragon Helm really helps solidify this guy's defense. So it was a slight change, but nothing huge. My hero choices are a Lich Priest, Queen Elizabeth, who's level 2 wizard, Dispel Scroll, Laurel Light. My White King, Dark Vincent, is on a skeletal steed still. He's got his shield. He's still got the Sword of Strife. He now has a Charm Shield and the Dragonbane Gem, because if you remember, and don't feel bad if you don't, he used to have the Dragon Helm. So I dropped that. He's now got the Charm Shield and the Dragonbane Gem. And I was toying for a while between the Enchanted Shield and the Charm Shield. I went with the Charm Shield just because it's a 5-6 chance to negate a wound just right off the bat, which is a big deal. Let's face it. So I decided to go with that as opposed to the +1 armor save. Whether or not it's a good idea is irrelevant because I have already submitted this particular list to the TOs of the Carnival of Chaos. So there's no more change in the list. It's do or die. This is it. This is what I'm using, and I have no regrets. Not one letter. And then, of course, I have my Necromancer, Sinister Jeffrey, who's a level 1 wizard with the Iron Curse Icon and Lore Vampires. He's my Rezzing Necro because I wanted one. My core choices are still 5 Skeleton Horsemen Archers with a banner. I'm down to 48 zombies with Banner Musician because I needed to come up with a few extra points in order to make my new kits work. Yeah, I know, I'm going to really miss that one zombie. I still have the 6 Chariots, Rolling Bones, with full command, Banner of Swiftness. I'm liking the unit. I just need to learn to use it effectively. I need to use it and not lose it. Yes. So that's really the biggest problem I'm having with my unit of chariots right now. It's really big, it's unwieldy, and I'm having trouble using it efficiently. But I figure practice, time, and a little bit of luck will either get me figuring it out, or so frustrated with it I change it up yet again. So stay tuned. And then, of course, I still have my 13 Skeleton Archers, the Queen's Guard, with full command. My special choices are 9 Black Knights with Lances, Barding, Banner Musician, Banner of Eternal Flame, and I love these guys. And if you notice, I did give them, well, I'm sorry, I gave them, oh, no, I changed this list one more time before I submit it, but that'll be in a later battle report. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. I have my 3 Medusa Stalkers, those that gaze, my 3 Morghast Harbingers. I really like this unit. I really like the models. They're going to stay in my list for a while. I would love to name them, but I can't think of a cool name for them. So if you have one rattling around in your head and you don't mind sharing, please do. If I choose it, I will give you credit, and if I can incorporate your name into the name that you gave them, maybe I'll even do that too. So by all means, this is Lord Tremendous asking for your opinions on naming a unit. And then, of course, my rare choice, my Casket of Souls. Here's Lonehammer's army list, and his general slash lord was Grimgord Ironhide. Yeah, he brought the man, the myth, the legend himself, and that was cool. He also has a Orc Great Shaman, who's a level 4 wizard with a Dispel Scroll, Talisman of Preservation, and using the lore of the Big Wag! Or however you say that. I don't know. I don't have green skin. His hero choices were a Black Orc Big Boss, who was his BSB, and that was it. And two Night Goblin Shamans. Both were level 1 wizards with the lore of the Little Wag. His core choices were 3 units of 25 Night Goblins with Banner Musician and 3 Fanatics. And his special choice was a unit of 37 Da Mortals with full command and war banner. Basically, they're the special unit of Black Orcs that Grimgor rides around and causes all sorts of havoc with. His rare choices were a lot. 2 Mangler Squigs, 2 Doom Diver Catapults, and 2 Goblin Rock Lobbers. So this was a rock solid list, and I was looking forward to facing it. Here are my spells, which are what you're looking at. And here's deployment. And yeah, I deployed my casket first on the left corner, and he deployed his first unit of goblins way on the opposite side of the table because he wanted to keep my casket of souls out of range for as long as he could, which I was actually fine with. So he deployed on his left side, I deployed middle to left because I wanted to be in range for some spells and stuff like that. I needed to deal with the fanatics. I needed to get some stuff into the fanatics or into the units where the fanatics were, so I could destroy them. That's why my scouts are in the forest there, daring a fanatic to come at me. And that's really it. I didn't have any other real plans because I don't play the greenskins enough to really know what everything can do. I don't remember. I know the Doom Diver catapults can be extremely accurate. I know the rock lobbers can be extremely inaccurate, and I was really counting on that. But other than that, I didn't really have any intelligent design or plans for this game other than just let him come to me, try to get the fanatics out, and hopefully I can out-magic and eventually outfight him. So we were going to see how that went. Here's Lonehammer's right flank, which consists of basically 2 Doom Divers. There is a Rock Lobber a little ways over there. And here's his center, which consists of his other Doom Diver, his 2 Mangler Squigs, and a big old unit of Night Goblins with one of the guys in there. I think obviously it's one of the little level 1 guys. And here's his right flank. From right to left, there's 2 units of Night Goblins. One on the right, I believe, has the other tiny Night Goblin Shaman in it. And the one on the left has the big guy. No, I'm sorry, the big guy is in with the unit of the Mortals. Which are on the left side there. And yeah, I think we figured out that he couldn't put a character in that unit or something like that. He wasn't allowed to do that, and he did, and I don't care. He made a big deal out of it. You know, he felt really bad and stuff, and I just couldn't have cared less. It was a friendly game. It was fun. I really enjoyed playing against this guy, but I know, the more astute watchers that know orcs and goblins better than me, Malorian, I'm looking at you, if he even watches, who knows, right? But, yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be like, you can't put the characters in that unit. We know. We figured it out. Not right now, obviously, but later on in the game, and he felt really bad about it. He was kicking his own butt for it, and honestly, I couldn't care less. I like playing this guy, and if there's mistakes made, it's not a huge big deal. If it was a tournament, yeah, I would have set him on fire. But since it's a friendly game, it was we hugged it out. It was just a big, big hugged out thing. So, it's like that. So go ahead and throw it in the comment section if you want. But we know, and it wasn't a big deal. Here's my center, which consists of my Morghast, my archers with my level 2 in there, my zombies with my level 1. And here's my left flank. From left to right, there's my casket, my chariots, my black knights with a white king installed, and my general on his terror. Here's top 1 after movement, and I didn't get to go first, which was really, really bad because I needed to get my damn scouts near to the goblins, because the hope was get my scouts near the goblins so that the Mangler Squigs, could possibly be bounced through, but the fanatics, maybe a little animosity, who knows? But no, he passes all of his animosity tests, and he just comes forward, buck wild. And, well, I'm not too concerned because he's coming straight forward. forward, it would have really helped me if I could have kept his damn fanatics on his side of the table. So, what can you do? What can you do? During the magic phase, he gets gifted a spider god off on the Demortals, and I let it go. I didn't really care. And then during the shooting phase, he fires off everything at me, and the rock lobber was able to hit kind of off, as you can see, on the zombies, and he ends up taking out two of the zombies. It wasn't a direct hit, it wasn't a great hit, and two zombies ended up catching the rock and dying for it. I guess you could say that. I don't know. I don't really know what zombies do when they aren't animate anymore. I guess they went to still corpses. I'm not really sure what the proper etiquette or words are, but we laughed pretty hard about it. Then his Doom Divers, seeing the scouts for the threats they are, took shots, and one of them hit and did 3 wounds to my scouts, which sucked. I was really hoping he was going to just ignore those guys completely. But with that all said and done, we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement, and I have a little bit. As you can see, my scouts ran out and got the fanatics pulled from that unit on the left there. The scouts did die for their action, but that's fine. That was the intent. My Morghast run over onto the hill just to hang out. I'm debating. I want my snakes to come in and hang out behind the 2 unit of goblins. I know the fanatics will eat them alive. I get that. I'm well aware. But if I can have the fanatics on that back right corner, not doing anything other than possibly killing greenskins, maybe I'll even get lucky and it'll bounce through a rock lobber. Awesome. And if they do nothing else but kill my snakes, I know it's 165 points. I know it's a valuable unit. But if I can keep 6 fanatics on his side of the table in that corner and completely useless, other than killing my snakes, then mission accomplished. It's worth it. It sucks, but that's the game you got to play when you're playing with fanatics. And I don't have any other unit other than my zombies to throw at these guys. And I want my zombies to walk on the damn Mangler Squig and kill it, because those things suck. Those things are really dangerous, and I just didn't have the spells to really deal with it. My army kind of starts walking around in a weird left U horseshoe type of thing. Just, I'm trying to cause a traffic jam. I'm trying to do as much as I can to slow him down so that he has as little opportunity to really use his fanatics and his squigs to full effect. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm buying time while I figure out what to do or wait for a vulnerability. There's a better picture of me pulling the fanatics out. I think out of the 3, only 1 survived because he hit him in such an angle that they hit the forest, which I'm perfectly fine with. But I did lose my scouts. He lost 2 of his fanatics, and there's only 1 left. So I'll take what I can get. During the magic phase, I get Foz protection off on my Black Knights, and that's just to buy some time, make it harder for him to shoot at me. And then during the shooting phase, I take some pot shots at a Mangler Squig, and 1 pays off, and I actually wound a Mangler, so that was kind of neat. With nothing else really to report, we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and as you can see, the Squigs go a little nuts. They come in kind of wild, kind of hot, which means I have to deal with this thing right now, or it's going to eat me alive. Meanwhile, the rest of his army pretty much fires forward, with the exception of 1 brick of goblins. They hang back. I don't fully remember why, but it is what it is, and I'll take it. I don't know if he forgot to move them, or if he just didn't want to, or maybe he was worried about the squigs or the fanatics. I'm not really sure, but that 1 unit in the back just remains still. He did pass his animosity test, so what can you do? Other than that, what you see is what you get. During the magic phase, he gets Here We Go off on his unit of Demortals. I, again, don't really care because I have no intention of fighting these guys at full strength, so I leave him as is. Yeah, and then during his shooting phase, his damn lobber direct hits right on my damn general and kills them out. My general was able to ward save the wound that was done to him, but yeah, he hits and wounds and devastates my mount. And what can you do? It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Then over here, the Doom Divers take aim and pelt my chariots, and it's uncanny accuracy with these things. And yeah, I lose a chariot and another one's carrying 2 wounds because life is unfair. So we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and my general moves into the forest just because my zombies do move up and are able to land on the squig, barely, but they do. He does a bunch of wounds, as you can see, to the zombies, but the squig dies, and I'm happy about that. My snakes do come onto the table, as you can see, and they get obliterated, but all the fanatics go to the back, so my Morghast are able to charge unit as goblins, no problem. And I thought about charging the far right goblin brick, and maybe I should have done that, but the middle one was a much easier charge to make at 18 inches. The goblin brick on the right side was 20 inches away, and I wasn't feeling as good about my odds of rolling a 10 as I was feeling about rolling an 8. So rather than fail a charge and get countercharged by the black orcs and everything like that, I said, screw it, I'm going for the middle one, and I'm really glad I did because I rolled an 8. So I would not have made the far charge. But yeah, my snakes came on the table, pulled the fanatics, and died horrendously. And the rest of my army kind of moves up slightly. I'm still really, really torn on what exactly to do in order to deal with the fanatics and the mangler squig and everything else. Because now that the fanatics are out, that's something, but I need to figure out how I'm going to deal with the rest of this army. Because right now I cannot deal with the immortals. They'll just eat me alive, so I need to get a spell off. I was hoping for Curse of Years or anything in order to deal with this guy, but his war machines are so accurate this game. It's just ripping me apart. And I think I'm hesitating a little bit too much, but, you know, hindsight, she's 2020. There's a better picture of my zombies landing on a squig and exploding. A ton of them died, but it was totally worth it. And there's a better picture of the fanatics eating my snakes alive, but the cat's out of the bag now. They're all in the back. They're all staying there. I think he loses one. I think one runs into another one. I'm not 100%. But again, I don't care. Perfectly fine with it, and I'm glad they're dead. And there's a better picture of my Morghast slamming into the unit of goblins. And the hope there is to kill a shaman and maybe blow through the unit. That would be great. During the magic phase, I get the casket off on the Mangler Squig, and I'm able to destroy it, which is huge. It does bounce through a few more units, but he starts rolling ones and twos like it's going out of out of style tomorrow. So what can you do? I can't fault the guy for rolling well, but I got a Squig, and so that's good. I'm really happy about that. Nothing else happens in the magic phase or the shooting phase that's worth mentioning. So we go into combat, and yeah, the Morghast did well. They killed about half the goblins, but he was steadfast and he made his break check. And I'm like, well, what are the odds he's going to send the immortals into the Morghast? I thought maybe he would send that other unit of goblins in, and honestly, I was okay with that. I didn't think he would send in the other unit, or the unit of black orcs. I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't, but we go over here to top of 3, and he sends in the goblins right into the Morghasts. And the Black Orcs, he didn't send them in at first. And somebody who was watching asked, he's like, why didn't you send in the Black Orcs too? Do you know how deadly Morghasts are? And that changed his mind. So, yeah, just a random individual watching the game and just... This is why I abhor table talk from people that are watching. But whatever, it is what it is. It's just a friendly game. And so, yes, the Black Orcs who were going to ignore the Morghasts and leave the goblins to deal with them. Instead, somebody at the table was like, or watching was like, why don't you send the Black Orcs in too? And they made it. And so, fudge. Yeah, everything's in a Morghast, so you can imagine how that's going to go. Other than that, the one remaining unit of goblins head toward my zombies and my general to try to deal with him. Everything else he has is stationary or fanatics. There's a better picture of the debacle that fight is about to turn into, which is a damn shame. And during the magic phase, he's able to irresistibly cast Curse of the Bad Moon, the big one, and it goes right through my zombies. My character, believe it or not, was able to make his check, which was awesome, but only 6 of the zombies that were left, or out of that remaining unit, were able to survive. So I guess it's great that the unit itself didn't die, but yeah, that's all the zombies I have left, and it's so bad. However, like I said, it was irresistible force, and his little level 1 goblin shaman pain in the ass Rolled a 4 on the miscast chart, which is divine justice. The resulting roll, his character gets sucked into the warp, and that unit, after taking a bunch of wounds, breaks, flees, and gets about that far. So not terrible, not terrible. During the shooting phase, one of his rock lobbers misfires and just can't shoot this turn or next, which is very nice. And one of his doom divers misfires 3 and can't shoot this turn or next, which is also very nice. The rest of his shooting goes by without really any effect, so we go into combat, and I get obliterated. Oh my god, my poor Morghasts. After combat res and everything is said and done, I get just myrtleized. I'm able to kill his other Night Goblin Shaman, but he's still got his level 4, Orc Drake Shaman. But, and I, the Goblin Shamans are worth like 8 points, so it's not a big deal. That could have went a lot better, but thank you, dickhead, for saying something, pointing something out to my opponent to make him charge his Black Orcs in. That would have been very much better if it was just goblins. But what can you do? What can you do? Some people don't know when to keep their mouth shut. Other than that, though, I mean, yeah, he obliterates the unit, and then his Immortals turn to face the rest of the army. So poor Morghasts, they got a bum deal. So we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, and there's a little bit. My general dives into the unit of zombies because yes, he's very happy about getting in there, I guess, because other than that he was exposed. A lot of shots were fired at him in the forest, and his ward save saved him for the most part. He did get hit by a rock, and he took a wound, as you can see if you look into the zombies. So actually, I think he took 2 wounds. So he's hanging on by a thread right now. He almost died. Other than that, the rest of my army just kind of sits around and waits to see where the Immortals go. I wanted to bring my chariots around, but I didn't want them to get shot up. Same with the Black Knights, same with the archers. I froze. I got nothing else for you. I just froze. During the magic phase, I'm able to curse the years off on the Black Orcs, and it works out pretty well. I'm able to kill a handful of them. Not a ton, but hey, even one less is better than none, right? And then my casket goes off on his rock lobber, and he rolls like a 74 or something like that, and it explodes. So that's very nice. One less war machine to worry about. During the magic phase, I'm also able to get invocation off with my general, and I bring the zombies up to a brick, I guess. It's better than what it was, and I'm also able to heal the 2 wounds on my general because I got Curse of Years off, and I was also able to get off Invocation. So that's really, really good. I'm very happy that my general is full up again. He's in a brick of zombies. Now, granted, they're just walking combat res. I know that, but combat res is what I need right now. So, I need bodies to handle the combat res because I know the Black Orcs are coming. So, oh God, I'm hoping to make it. That's really all it comes down to. With nothing else going on in my turn, we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and that's just it. They come at me, bro. I mean, they're not even mad. They just come at me. And they all come forward. All the fanatics go, whatever. Some of them he rolls double, some of them fly off the board, some of them hit each other, but it's really not effective. I think maybe another goblin or 2 dies, not a big deal, but that's it. Everything comes right at me. With the exception of the unit that was fleeing last turn, they just rally. During the magic phase, he gets Here We Go off again on his Black Orcs, and I guess he thought I was going to charge him with my zombies, which was never going to happen. And he also dispels Curse of Years, which is a damn shame. Then during the shooting phase, his Rock Lobber hits, and it actually scatters a little bit, and it lands so that the center hole is over my frickin' wizard. And or my necromancer anyway. And yeah. Oh no, you're right. I know what you're thinking. Oh, you get a lookout, sir. Roll. I know. And I rolled it, and I rolled a 1, and he wounded, and my 1 remaining wound necromancer died. Yeah, he had the Iron Curse icon. I didn't roll a 6. So what the actual F, Who does that? Who does that? So after eighth, oh yeah, and 4 zombies died as well. So it's not like the necromancer didn't have company in hell, but I checked checked for magnets in the table very thoroughly and still haven't found them. So I don't know where they put them, but it was very effective. And then the Doom Divers just have a field day and kill 4 Black Knights because it's easy. So with tears in my eyes, we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and I back my zombies up. I'm like, ah! It's not much. It's like 2 inches, but it was that, or I do a swift reform and try to make them move 4 inches, which probably wouldn't have helped much at all. But yeah, that's all I can do. I try desperately to move some stuff into range. I try to get the chariots moved slightly over, but they're hard to maneuver. The Black Knights come over to countercharge the Black Orcs because I know they're going into zombies next turn. The archers shimmy over. It's all I can do. And we go into the magic phase, and nothing good happens. I'm able to roll Invocation with my general's unit, which was great, or with my general anyway. And then I rolled Snake Eyes. 2d6 plus 4 zombies coming back, and I roll Snake Eyes then. I threw magic at everything, hoping to pull out as the spell dice. I pull them all out. I have 2 dice left. I roll the 6-inch invocation, or I'm sorry, the 12-inch invocation. I get it off. The chariot's healed up. And I'm like, all right, here's how many zombies heal. And I roll Snake Eyes. So I got 6 zombies back. It could have been anything else and it would have been better. And I rolled Snake Eyes for 6 zombies when I've got a brick, a very healthy brick of Black Orcs with a special character, a BSB, and an Orc Shaman just barreling down at me. It was god awful. Just god awful. I was devastated. But that's it. My shooting phase, I plink a couple of Black Orcs. It's not impressive at all. So we go over here to top of 5 after moving. I know, right? And as you can see, this game has its oohs and ahs all day. The Black Orcs charged the zombies and failed. He needed like a 6, and he rolled, I think it was like a 4. It was awesome. Major upset for him, and gave me a little breathing room. It gave me one more turn to try to build up some zombies because I just didn't know what else to do. I know. People are like, well, why didn't you just take your general out of the unit? Well, because then I would have had 2 Doom Divers and a Rock Lobber target my general, and the way he's been hitting, it's been devastating. I could have possibly ran him over to the archers, but the archers are not a good unit for him to be in, and he was more than 12 inches away from him, so I didn't really have an option. I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna leave him in the zombies and see what happens. Maybe he can do enough combat res back into the unit that he'll survive. I figured he'd give me a unit champion, then maybe the BSB, or just screw it or whatever. I didn't know, but I just grabbing at straws, hoping for the best, and yeah, that's what happened during this turn though. He just kind of came forward and failed a charge, which is excellent for me. There's a better picture of him failing a charge into my zombies, and I can't even imagine a scenario where that would have actually happened. Nothing happens in his magic phase, so we go into shooting, and as you can see, the Doom Divers are still right on point, and they kill all but one of my Black Knights and my White King, so that's just terrible. And with nothing else going on and nothing else really to report, we go over here to bottom of 5 after movement. And once again, I back my zombies up 2 inches. That's all I've got. Other than that, the Black Knights just kind of assemble so that they can countercharge the Black Orcs, hoping the chariots shift over a little bit more to countercharge the Black Orcs, maybe even deter the Black Orcs. That was the hope. The archers stay right where they're at so they can shoot at some Black Orcs, maybe kill 1 or 2, and that's the ball game. That's what I'm hoping for here. During the magic phase, I get invocation off, and it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I don't roll Snake Eyes again, which is nice. And I'm able to resurrect, what is it, about 4 or 5. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Black Knights. The chariots are all healed up. I got a decent amount of zombies on the table again, and it's something. It's given me hope. Oof. Just so like I have no idea what to do to make this damn game winnable because I'm just so out of place, so terribly out of place. Then I get Curse of Years off on this unit again, and I roll quite well. I put a wound on Grimgor, no, not on Grimgor, on his BSB, and I'm able to kill, five or six of the Black Orcs, which is pretty friggin' good considering I needed sixes. And then during the shooting phase, my archers, the combined shooting of my archers and my chariots kill another 3 or 4 Black Orcs, which is unheard of. I'm not complaining. Not complaining at all. My archers have been doing really, really good lately, so I have no complaints. But yeah, that a whole bunch of them just dropped, and that's outstanding. So with nothing else going on in my turn, we go over here to top of 6, and the inevitable finally happens. His Black Orcs slam into my zombies, and here it is, the moment of truth. If they can survive one turn, I can countercharge with my chariots and my Black Knights and maybe push this combat over in my favor and survive, but it's so iffy. It's so iffy right now. I'm just like I'm biting my nails. I'm down to the first knuckle. It's bad. Other than that, his goblins stay right where they're at because there's no reason to move them forward, and his war machines are, locking and loading. There's a better picture of his Black Orc slamming into the zombies with my general, and I'm just hoping and praying here. During his shooting phase, nothing happens in the magic phase other than he gets rid of Curse of Years. He's able to dispel that no problem, and that's it. That's all he does. Then we go into shooting, and the Doom Divers both target my Black Knights and kill 4 of them. The unit's still alive. I could possibly bring some back, but yeah, 4 are dead, and that sucks. And then we go into combat, and we survive. I end up in a challenge with Grimgor. He was not going to issue a challenge, which really shocked me. So I issued a challenge, figuring I'd get his unit champion or something like that. No, Grimgor accepted it. He wanted to see what was going to happen. And you know what? I'm damn proud of my vampire. He survived against Grimgor Ironhide. Archeon didn't even do that. The only reason he survived is because Grimgor allowed it. I was able to do 2 wounds to Grimgor. He was able to do 2 wounds to me. I was not able to do as many wounds to the Black Orcs. In fact, I did no wounds to the Black Orcs. And in the end, I ended up losing. And as you can see, I have about 9 zombies left. So I need to get a good invocation off this next turn, or I am epa-screwed. But I'm still there, which means we can go to bottom of 6 after movement, and I can countercharge, which I did. My zombies and stuff, I forgot to move them. So, yeah. Oh, no, that's not true. I did remember to move them. However, when I rolled like an 11, and I don't have a BSB. So I did not get to reform, which is my fault. And my dice, which, hey, they're rolling high. What can you do? But the Black Knights and the Chariots charge in. The Chariots do pass all their dangerous terrain checks. Thank you very much. My Black Knights make it in no problem, and my Archers turn to shoot at Goblins because I'm spiteful. There's a better picture of my desperate last-minute gambit to win this game. If I can just do enough damage, I might be able to destroy these guys, and that would be great. And I lied to you. My chariots did fail 1 dangerous terrain check and took 2 wounds. So basically, they're still full strength, and I'll take that. Strength 5 impact hits are a bonus. During the magic phase, I get in Curse of Years off on him again, just hoping for the best. I'm able to kill, I think, 5 more of, what's it called? Yeah, I kill 5 of the, what do they call it? Black Orcs, and I'm thrilled about that. Wasn't enough to do anything to any of the characters, but it was something, and it healed a wound off my general, which was nice. With nothing really worth noting in shooting, we go into combat, and as you can see, it was as brutal as you would expect. My general dies. It's really unfortunate. Not because of combat. We weren't able to do anything to each other in combat. In the challenge, I didn't do any wounds to him. He didn't do any wounds to me. It was really unfortunate because we just needed to do one more in order for it to happen. However, even with impact hits and everything, the Black Knights did well, the Chariots did well. The zombies unfortunately fell, and he killed all 9 of the remaining zombies. And yeah, I lost this combat. No, I didn't lose this combat. My general did die. But with all the wounds that I did back, I ended up winning this combat by like 2 or 3, but he made his break check, which is really, really unfortunate. My general died, the zombies died, but my impact hits did well. It was only D6 straight 5, but I did 6, and I think all 6 wounded. The Black Knights hit and wound really well. My, what's it called? My White King did really well. So I did a decent amount of damage to his unit, trying to win, and in the end I think I ended up winning by 1 or 2, not much, and it's unfortunate because he made his break check, and if he had failed it I would have gotten his BSB at a minimum, and plus the 25 points for the units standard. But if I could have caught him and ran him down, oh, how glorious that would have been. But it didn't happen that way. He made his break check, and there it is. There's the end of the game, everybody. General down, zombies down. I've got Chariots, Black Knights, White King, and Archers left. And my Casket on the left side, but he's out of range. So, what an outstanding game. Just an outstanding game. And, oh, down to the wire. Down to the wire. I made some huge gaping mistakes. I know that. I know I hesitated. And I could have done a lot of things different, but hindsight. I didn't know what I was facing. I don't see green skins hardly ever, and they were just on point this game. And unfortunately, I couldn't really concentrate my damage like I wanted to, which also eats at my soul a little bit. But it is what it is. I can't complain because this was a really fun game. This is a really great opponent, and I'm really glad I got to play this game, even though obviously it ended like it did. But you know what? We'll get to the recap in a second because right now this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Hey guys, you know these tokens, you've seen them 100 times, and you know what? Every time you see them, if you haven't bought them yet, you're just wasting time. Get these tokens. All of the lords of whatever spell you're casting, all the wound counters. You see me use them in every single game, and you've never heard me since I've been using the counters going, I can't remember how many wounds I had, or what spell was on this guy, or whatever. And they're flawless. They're awesome. You're the envy of everyone you play against. Send Token Gal an email. Get these tokens. They're dirt cheap, but they're solid gold quality, guys. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. A lot of people have already ordered them, and nobody's returned any. Nobody's even asked to return any. All they do is they order more. Get yours. Get them soon. You're wasting time, and these are totally worth it. Tell her Tremendous sent you. Hey guys, I got another great deal for you. Movement trays. We all use them. We all need them. If you're watching this report, you have some or you need some. And do I have the vendor for you? This guy makes solid metal movement trays. I mean, cuts them to your specifications using a galvanized metal. It's not that cheap, thin, weak aluminum. This stuff is sturdy. I'm using them. I used them all throughout this game. Take a look at the pictures. They're all in there. I love these trays. They're metal, so they auto-magnetize, provided you put magnets on your guys. And he does them dirt cheap, guys. I'm telling you. He's got an eBay page. There's an email on here. Get a hold of this guy. Get yourself some movement trays and get yourself organized. You're going to be thrilled. You can paint them. You can do everything. These things are awesome. My local game store guy is literally in contact with this guy so that he can become a vendor. That's how high quality these things are. So I'm telling you guys, give this guy an email. Check out his eBay page. Get yourself some movement trays and stop playing like a Neanderthal. Tell him Tremendous sent you. You won't regret it. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you were paying attention or not, but we got a few new pictures. So not only does Unleashed Wargaming paint amazing models for commission and stuff like that, send him an email. He does excellent work, as you've seen from the pictures. Not only does he do all the different Magic lore cards for Warhammer Fantasy, I mean every lore. You want Storms of Magic? Send him an email. You want Lore of Fire? Send him an email. You want every lore that's ever been out in 8th edition? Send him an email. These things are solid. They're laminated, they're on cardstock, they're Photoshop made, they're amazing. And they're good, they're well priced, guys, I'm telling you. And now he's also doing 40K cards, the psychic stuff or whatever. I don't play 40K, but if you do, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with it if you don't get these cards and if you don't have your models painted by them. Just throwing it out there. Just, you may, if you feel guilty, that's because you know you're wrong. But send this guy an email, get your models looking good, get the cards that you need, get your real game going, and tell him Tremendous sent you. You're not going to regret it. That's right. You knew this was coming eventually. In conjunction with Unleashed Wargaming and Lonehammer, we have opened an online store with hats, shirts, and I think that's it for right now. Maybe dice and stuff like that later on, as well as other gear, maybe dice cups, whatever. We'll think of something. But we're doing a trial thing for the next month and a half or so. We're gonna have this online store. The website is here. It'll be in the description of the page and everything like that. But yeah, if you want a T-shirt, if you want a hat, if you want to wear paraphernalia, by all means, head over to this store, check it out, get yourself some Lord Tremendous gear. God knows I have. and and yeah, this is your chance. If you like Lonehammer, if you like Unleashed Wargaming, if you like Lord Tremendous, you can get this stuff. And if you don't like us, you can get it and you can set it on fire and send it to us as a threat. It's awesome. But yeah, go to the website. It'll be here. It's on this channel obviously, or on the description, and get yourself some gear. We're gonna try it out for a month and see how it goes. And if it keeps up, then we'll keep adding to it. And if not, well, we'll pretend like we never did it. But yeah, guys, by all means. And if there's anything you want to see on the store or anything like that, throw it in the comments section. And if we like it, we'll make it happen. So yeah, in the end, it wasn't even close. It was a horrendous defeat for Lord Tremendous. I ended up getting 480 points out of him. He got 1,458 points out of me. Half of that is my Vampire Lord. Oh, how painful. There was a difference of 978 points between us, so he won by a landslide. Well, it's good at least. At least we had closure. I ended up losing my Vampire Lord, my Necromancer, my zombies, my Morghast, my stalkers, and what's it called? My scouts. He ended up losing both of his Night Goblin Shaman, 2 Mangler Squigs, and 1 Rock Lobber. Just wasn't able to do any more than that, and I blame myself. I blame myself. Couldn't get my stuff together. Did a lot of damage, just not concentrated anywhere. Had some bum luck, and I got my big fighty units into combat way late in the game. In fact, the Chariots and the Black Knights didn't see combat until bottom of 6, which is my fault, but I was really afraid of the Black Orcs. I believe with good reason. And by the time they did see combat with them finally, it was too little too late. And I blame myself. I blame myself. But still a damn good fight. Lots of really good fights. Lots of really good combat. Lots of ooh and ah moments. I enjoyed that. Rolling snake eyes to regrow my zombies really hurt me. I don't know if it would have changed the outcome. I don't know if, the zombie surviving would have been a big deal. Obviously not. My general dying pretty much solidified his victory, but he had it before that. So I don't know. I don't think it would have done anything. I should have probably sent the Chariots in sooner, the Black Knights in sooner, but it's all hindsight. I didn't know what I was up against, and I was ill prepared. Not one failed animosity the entire game. This is the most disciplined Orc and Goblin army ever. I know he only had 3 units of Goblins, but he rolled 18 times for him and couldn't roll 1-1. Really? Really? I mean, come on, somewhere a black hole just opened up because of the amount of damage he's done to math. He should have rolled 3 animosities during this game per math. Per math. And math, as I am quickly proving with these battle reports, does not actually function by any law or government or anything else. It is completely random, and therefore it is a farce. It is a farce, I tell you. But you know what? This was still a lot of fun. A lot of really good moments, a lot of funny moments. It was great to see this guy again. He's always a joy to play against. And you know what? I'm glad I was able to give him a green die. I was. I don't get to see him all that often, and I'm glad that not only were we able to get a game in, but that he earned a green die. It would have been sad if he had come all that way out to play, and I had to give him, well, and he earned himself a red die, you know, because then it had just been bitter. It had been bitter the whole way. I'd have made him glue it to his dashboard, and the whole drive home he would have just been looking at it, just pissed. But no, now he's got the green die, and he's probably got that glued to his dashboard. He's very pleased. So. But yes, if you ever get an opportunity to play against Lonehammer, Demonic Orchid, I'm not going to give his real name on the interwebs because I don't have permission to do that, and you wouldn't want me to do that with you. And if you would, hey, let me know. I'll give him your name. I don't care. But if you get a chance to play against Lonehammer or Demonic Orchid, depending how you know him, do it. It's a lot of fun. It's a good game. None of his lists are over the top or anything like that. And you just might enjoy yourself, which is crazy, I know. But very fun game, very outstanding opponent, and I'm very much looking forward to the next time I see him so I can get a rematch because eventually I'm going to beat this guy, and that will be a glorious day. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough for this battle report number 212. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.